So thanks ICT Academy once again for giving this opportunity to Oracle and share our thoughts with respect to how we are engaged with industries. So luckily, I'm not from this technical background. I'm from the sales side, so that gives my team a lot of opportunity to engage with industries, right? So that way, we clearly understand expectations, aspirations of industries across various verticals, and most importantly, what are some of the real challenges that these industries are facing today, right? And those challenges are your opportunities. So I'm basically going to touch upon two important aspects, which I'm sure most of you are aware of, which I will cover in the course of the next 15 minutes of my presentation. I would like to start with the India growth story. It is not alien to anyone. We are all proud of the fact that India is growing. We are soon going to be a $5 trillion economy, in probably the next 3 to 4 years. Just about 2 weeks back, the Union Minister Nitin Gadkari mentioned that by FY25 we may touch this $5 trillion economy, but let's see how we progress. But this is one story which really gives us hope and belief. I think Mr. Lakshmi Narayanan sir mentioned in the morning, right? It's all about belief at the end of the day. This is what gives us a lot of belief. This 5G and 4G technologies is going to play a very, very important role in making India a superpower, right? If you take the example of a UPI transaction, I think the government of India started this in 2016. Any idea last month alone, right? How many UPI transactions India made, right? It's 7.3 billion, 730 transactions in just 30 days. That's close to the population of the globe. The global population is close to 8 billion. In just 1 month, India did that. So imagine the potential. Who would have ever thought when UPI started 5 years back, 6 years back, we would reach this stage in flat 5-6 years? Impossible, and that's a belief, right? Obviously, all these are going to ensure India reaches top 3 economy in the next 10 to 15 years at least. That's the India growth story, right? Now, a very quick overview of a brief snapshot of Oracle. I represent Oracle, and most of you know it's one of the world's largest software companies. We are also the world's fastest growing cloud service provider globally. If you can see, we are around 170,000 employees globally, of which close to 50,000 employees are based out of India alone. And in this very city, we have close to 10,000 employees. Oracle's India Development Center is based out of Hyderabad. And we also have a very strategic investment in Hyderabad, which is our cloud data center. We have 41 cloud data centers across the globe. One of that is in Hyderabad, right? So many customers, enterprise, big, small, startups run their mission critical workloads out of our data centers in Hyderabad. We also have the Oracle Academy program. Many of you are aware of it, where it's a global philanthropic part of Oracle, which engages with institutions providing free training courses, which I will touch upon in my course of the discussion with you. This is a very quick view with respect to what all services we have. I'm not here to do any sales here, but ultimately, what is very important is the industries that we are connected. We have industry-specific applications, which includes banking. Many of the India's leading banks run on Oracle platform, and because of this, we also have a very close interaction association with respect to these industries, these verticals across manufacturing, healthcare, banking, telecom, right? We understand what their expectations are, and hence what are the key challenges that they face as on today. A very quick view with respect to what Oracle Cloud is, and as I told you, India data centers are in Mumbai and Hyderabad, where we run almost all the latest next-gen technologies, including artificial intelligence, machine learning, Oracle software as a service, platform as a service, infrastructure, etc. Now, before I go to the next slide, right? What I told you is, I'm here to talk to you about what many of the companies, customers are facing the challenges today. What is the most important priority of any organization today? right? It is in this post-pandemic world, it is speed, right? Speed is the ultimate weapon in business. If you look at it, if everything else remains the same, let's assume we have the same access to technology, we have the same access to customers, it's always the fastest company that is going to win in the market, right? And that's the realization post-pandemic, because many companies are getting disrupted. As a result of that, velocity has become the new satisfaction measurement between companies and their customers. No, I'm not saying that quality is not important, customer satisfaction is not important, but if you rank it in the current case, velocity, the speed at which customers or business can do, is the biggest measurement of satisfaction. There is obviously an innovation continuum, right, which essentially means that every company, every industry is getting disrupted. It is almost invisible. You don't see that practically. It happens on a daily basis. Right? How do you prevent that? You prevent that by providing unique customer experiences. And how you give unique customer experience is by differentiating your services. And that's a constant, and that has to continue on a daily basis. It is very, very easy to say, but very difficult to accomplish. Why? Because you have to make very, very tough decisions. In the sense, you have to make a lot of decisions right in an organization. And especially when it comes to leadership, biggest predicament that they face in a day-to-day life is, am I making the right decision or not? Right? And this is purely from an industry standpoint. Am I making the right decision? How do you ensure the probability of decision making is right always? Is by leveraging tons and tons of data companies have, not only internally, but also externally from outside places like social media feeds and unstructured data. While this we know is the most important aspect, it is the most difficult aspect as well, because you need to do a lot of jugglery, right? Deriving data by crunching a lot of information is not very easy. As per a Gartner study, almost 87% of the machine learning projects which are aimed at decision making is a failure, which means 9 out of 10 projects which an enterprise undertake in the name of AI/ML is not getting into production. It is just getting into the proof of concept, non-production phase, and they are struggling to push it to production. And it's not a old study; it's just about a year old. This study, right? And there are a lot of reasons to it, and that is the reason why there is a huge demand in the industry for data skills. There are a lot of openings available, not only in India, outside India. You can see all the roles. This is some of the highest paid jobs in the industry, and it is not that getting training on these technologies is difficult. It is completely built on open platforms, open source technologies, and everybody, not only Oracle, everybody has these platforms available. Give these platforms. However, because of these challenges, it also creates another unique problem, which is, okay, I have petabytes of data in my organization. How do I protect this? If I don't have any person or a team that is protecting this data, a bad actor can come in and take my data, and you will be held to ransom. You've heard of ransomware attacks, right? In the last 2 years, especially pandemic, people all started working from homes. Almost every company got, a large number of companies got attacked from a ransomware standpoint, and hence cyber security specialist and data governance specialist extremely in demand. If you take 2023 alone, there is a global demand for almost 2 million cyber security specialists, right, across the globe. And as on today, there are only around one aspect, which is primarily about data skills. How do you ensure that, as educators, you go back and have constructive discussions with your students in terms of enabling them, upskill on these areas, right? We have technology from Oracle. We have technologies like autonomous database, which is actually the world's first and only self-driving database. You don't require a DBA to manage. It is embedded machine learning within the database that monitors or that makes the life easier for companies to take decisions faster. That's on the possibility side. Likewise, there are a lot of other technology vendors who have similar offerings, but autonomous database is very, very unique. Now, what we saw is on the data side of story, what enterprises are facing. The other challenge is about the age-old part, which is application development, right? It's been in existence for maybe 3 to 4 decades. What are some of the challenges these large corporates and organizations are facing? I'm not sure if you can see this. It's always expensive because every line of code that a developer writes today is costly because you need to tune, you need to author, you need to debug, and a lot of processes of that. You need to secure it, and it's a continuous process. And mind you, full stack developers are very, very costly today. So for any organization, doing an application development in a theoretical way is extremely expensive. It is again slow because not always you have all the requirements defined upfront. Business requirements keep changing, and your developers have to take an iterative approach in terms of developing these applications. Okay, there is also minimal collaboration because usually what happens, most of you know, in a development cycle, the business users work very closely with business analysts, gather the requirements, right? The business analysts then go back to IT team goes back to developers, and developers start coding. So there are a lot of ecosystem players, they have to come together. And because of these inbuilt characteristics, there is a heavy element of lack of collaboration. And all these 3 factors, what it does is it creates a lot of backlog in an organization. Whether it is a startup, whether it is an enterprise, it really doesn't matter. Especially we see this as a big problem in BFSI institutions, right? How this backlog is happening, because on the one side there will be a requirement for enhancing your existing application. On the other side there will be a completely new requirement for developing new applications, right? So if I am a full stack developer, my focus will be on developing full stack applications. So this is the traditional challenges which most of the enterprises are facing today. How do you overcome this, right? How do you overcome this? In fact, Mr. Lakshminarayan sir has mentioned about this topic in the morning. How many of you have heard of low-code platforms? Low-code, no-code, right? So this is one unique platform or a development framework which is extremely popular these days. And this is the Wikipedia definition. It says that it's a software that gives the ability to the developer to use 2 things at a time. One is a graphical user interface, and other is a configuration, so that they can combine these 2 and start developing applications with literally 0 coding. You don't have to sit and code an application. It is all about drag and drop using graphical user interface. Extremely convenient. You don't require a deep development skill, and very, very relevant for the students of today, because this is a technology which is in huge demand, irrespective of which vertical or industry it is, right? Low-code platforms. And as per Gartner, this is actually a very staggering study. By 2024, which is just about 12 months from now, almost 65% of the development is going to be on this platform, right? So imagine the change that needs to happen. And why this is happening is because business is really pushing IT. This is also a classic example of how speed is becoming a much more pertinent factor in every industry, because this is low-code platforms are going to really help companies address their application development requirements in the fastest possible way. Why do you really use low-code? It's a no-brainer. You can go to market faster, there is greater quality and consistency, and most importantly, it reduces the development efforts, which is again another big concern, especially many companies. In 2023, there is a lot of cost cutting happening in many organizations, right? So how do you ensure that technology is coming to their help? Low code, no code is one of the answers. And obviously, the net result is it really produces business outcomes. Gone are those days where, as a business, you need to wait for 3-4 months to develop an application. If I, as a business user, can use a low-code platform, I can probably develop an application in 3 to 4 weeks instead of 3 to 4 months of time. So that's the speed that these technologies are enabling. From Oracle side, we have Oracle Apex, which is one of the world's most popular low-code platforms. It's been in existence for well over 20 years, right? And what it says is 20 times faster. 20 times is 2000 percentage. 20 times faster with 100 times lesser code. Imagine the convenience it gives to organizations. And this is a very, very hot topic in the job market. I would sincerely request all of you to take this idea back to your educators, back to your students, and there are a lot of options available, right? In fact, my team engages with almost at least 40-50 large enterprises in South India. In every customer place, there is a demand for low-code application development. Now, this is a sample view of how it looks like in Apex. If you use Oracle Apex as a low-code platform, irrespective of the form factor, it could be a laptop, it could be a mobile phone or a tablet, automatically it adjusts, everything gets adjusted, and you can clearly develop those applications by simply drag and drop. I am a business manager. I need to do a lot of reviews. No longer I depend on Excel sheets. Right? The biggest problem is we do a lot on Excel sheets. You send an Excel sheet and an attachment to 10 people, they forward to another 50 people, it gets proliferated. There is no single source of truth. But if I, as an owner, can drag an Excel sheet and just drag that Excel sheet into Apex application, your application is created. It takes 2 minutes for you to create an application. It takes just 2 minutes for you to create an application as simple as an Excel sheet. Publish the link, ensure your configurations, your username and passwords are configured. Just give it, you have a single source of truth forever. No dependence on Excel sheets. That's the biggest advantage we see. Otherwise, he will say, sir, I'm having this data which is not tallying with yours, right? Which has always been a perennial problem. So this is one area which really solves that. Now, so this is again about speed, right? So these are the two concepts. So we spoke about data skills, we spoke about low-code, no-code platform, so that you're very clear. These are the two things, and there is a heavy demand in the market for all this, right? We clearly have a visibility of the demand side. There is a huge demand. That's a possibility. That's a real possibility that we need to jointly explore. Now, I also want to give you a very quick view with respect to what Oracle is doing from an academy standpoint, Oracle Academy standpoint. I'm sure most of you are engaged with Oracle Academy teams. Actually, this week we are celebrating the 25th anniversary of Oracle Academy, right? So, thank you. This started off in 1997, December 3rd or 4th week, where we started off this as a pilot program for Asia Pacific institutions, India included. So India is one of the oldest members from an Oracle Academy standpoint. And what we do, it's part of our global philanthropic organization, a CSR initiative from our chairman, Larry Ellison, where we understand the last line, right? It's everyone should have the skills and the opportunities to achieve their dream. Especially, I think today morning we spoke a lot about how, as a team, we can bridge the gap of digital divide, especially the underprivileged children. Right? How technology can come to their aid, how we can improve the poverty levels in India. Technology is the biggest factor. Now, Oracle Academy is in operation in more than 130 countries, and this program is absolutely free of cost. All institutions can participate, and how it works is very simple. We have this Academy Cloud program which offers free credits to all the institutions, and you have access to something called Oracle Cloud Free Tier. As a faculty, you will have a login to Oracle Academy page, and that gives you access to a lot of content, curriculum, learning, etc., which includes autonomous database, machine learning, data skills, low-code, no-code platforms, right? Apex is also covered as part of this. You will have a single console, which means that as a faculty, it is your responsibility or you have the right to include your students into your console. Oracle will not do that. So you can select, let's say, my set of 40 or 50 students, let me enroll into my console and manage their progression very carefully. So we give that flexibility to faculties. And as I mentioned, it's all free credits. It's a completely free program. $300 is something which is available, but it really doesn't matter. As long as you enroll into the academy program, it is absolutely free of cost, right? And our India point of contact, if at all you want to know, is Anuradha. She's based out of Gurgaon, and this is her email ID. So with that, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. This is very, very nice interacting.